As the only Western candidate, what do you see as the potential opportunities for Democrats in the West, and what's successful? How have you managed to be successful as a Democrat in the West?
Well, the West is clearly veering Democratic. If you look at 4 years ago, the governors from Canada to Mexico, 7 out of 7 were Republican. Today, 5 out of 7 are Democrat. Now, what I believe is happening is the following issues that affect and help all Democrats, and then I'll focus on governors and myself. What has helped make that trend? I won't say permanent, but very much moving in a direction. The rise of environmentalism, renewable energy, the rise and the ire, rather, of traditional supporters of the Democratic Party that might be sportsmen, that might be recreationists, that are totally turned off by the Bush energy policies. In other words, drill at all costs. Little regard for any kind of environmental protection, clean air, roadless areas. So that's one. Second has been a very strong Hispanic migration into those states. Even in a smaller scale like Utah, but if you take Arizona, if you take Colorado, you take Nevada, you take a lot of those states, that has been another important issue. Third, I'm the only presidential candidate with a transportation smart growth policy. In this country, what's happening is a lot of folks from California, Los Angeles, San Diego, they're moving out west to escape the traffic. And then you've got the Northeast and Midwest doing the same. And what that's causing in the West is a new set of voters that believe very strongly that issues like quality of life, lifestyle, are very important. And that is favoring us, but that's causing Westerners to also assess what, in Las Vegas, the biggest issue is traffic. In Los Angeles, I don't have to tell you here, but I think we have to start looking at, and a lot of Western governors are doing it, looking at issues like light rail, looking at issues, energy efficient mass transit systems. The president, every year or so, gets billions of dollars to build new highways. We got to start thinking beyond that. Not just smart growth, strong land use bump. And it's affecting the West as sort of the receptacle of many of these issues that involve smart growth. In terms of other issues where, individualism issues, issues relating to, the West is very, you're not going to tell us what to do. And that's where I think there's some very strong anti-government initiatives that do well. Like the West is very pro-choice. The West is, at the same time it's pro-choice, it's pro-West Second Amendment. At the same time that, and I can't underemphasize the energy side. If you see the most progressive policies in this country on renewable energy, on what states are doing in terms of renewable portfolio standards, like we've gone into Mexico at 20% by 2020. It has to be solar, wind, biomass by traditionals by 2020. In California, what it's done in climate change, what we in the West, in New Mexico have done, we have the strongest targets by 75% reduction in greenhouse emissions by 2050. And we basically said, by 2030, in New Mexico, we're going to abide by the Kyoto Treaty. We're the only state that abides by the Kyoto Treaty. So what that is doing is, and then you have governors that are progressive governors that deal with issues relating to immigration. I'm an economic growth Democrat. I've cut taxes. I believe the way you revitalize this economy is partially through the tax code. You give a company or private sector funds to, or a tax cut to, if they pay over a prevailing wage. we'll give them a tax cut. They pay higher wages. So you give tax incentives to those entities that create jobs. You know, I think we should be the party of science and STEM cell research, R&D, and high tech. And we should be, in New Mexico, if you're a technology startup, we won't charge you any taxes for 3 years. I would do that on a national basis. Think of anything, and this is also a Western answer. We too much have been stuck in the politics of redistribution instead of the politics of economic growth. And that typifies a lot of the approach of the governors in the West that are creating jobs and balancing budgets. So that's my Western spiel.